Good morning, all of you. Today I will start next chapter, Force and Laws of Motion. Last year also you have read about force. So let us have the revise of force. What is force? Force is push or pull, or you can say external agency that can change shape and size, state of rest or motion, speed of the body, direction of motion of body. So force can bring four effects. It can change shape and size of an object. Second, it can change the state of rest or motion of a body. Third, it can change the speed of a body. And fourth one, it can change the direction of motion of a body. Force is vector quantity. It needs both magnitude as well as direction for complete specification. Its SI unit is Newton and CGS unit is dyne. Now relation between 1 Newton and dyne. 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. Force is having two types of unit, inertial unit and gravitational unit. In inertial unit, SI unit is Newton and CGS unit is dyne. In gravitational unit, SI unit is kg weight and CGS unit is gram weight. Now the relation between Newton and kg weight. 1 kg weight is equal to 9.8 Newton, or 9.8 is very near to 10, so we can take 10 also. 10 Newton or 9.8 Newton is equal to 1 kg weight. Now define 1 Newton. 1 Newton is the amount of force which produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square when applied on a body of mass 1 kg. I am repeating again, 1 Newton is that much force which produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square when applied on a body of mass 1 kg. We know F equals to ma. So 1 Newton is equal to, it is F equals to ma in place of m if we take 1 kg, and in place of acceleration if we take 1 meter per second square, the product of two, that is 1 kg into 1 meter per second square, will give 1 Newton of force. Now classification of force. Force can be classified in various ways. It can be classified as balanced and unbalanced force, or it can be classified as contact and non-contact force. Now what is this balanced and unbalanced force? How they are different? Balanced force, if you take a system and if you apply a number of force on it, if the net force acting on the system is equal to 0, the force is said to be balanced. And if the net force acting on a system is not equal to 0, the force is said to be unbalanced. For example, in tug of war, if both the team are equally strong, team A and team B, both the team are equally strong, the net force will be 0. And if team A is stronger than team B, then the net force will be toward team A. Second case will be unbalanced force and first case will be balanced force. Balanced force can change only shape and size of an object, whereas unbalanced force can change speed of the body, state of rest or motion of a body, direction of motion of a body. All these you have read in class 8. It is simply a revision. Now we can classify force in other way also, that is contact and non-contact force. Contact force, the force which will produce its effect or which will comes into play only when it comes into contact with the body. Just opposite non-contact force, the force which will produce its effect even from a distance without coming in contact with the body. Such type of force is called non-contact force. Now, example of contact force, muscular force, frictional force, these are the example of contact force. Non-contact force, gravitational force, magnetic force, electrostatic force are the example of non-contact force. Now next you have to read Galileo's law. Galileo has performed an experiment and he come to certain conclusion. He took two inclined plane and he allowed a stone or a ball to fall from a height edge of the inclined plane. The ball rolls down the first inclined plane and then it rolls up on the second inclined plane. He found that the ball keep on rolling till it attain a height h. He decreased the angle of inclination of the second inclined plane. This time, when he allowed the stone to fall down or roll down, he found that the distance covered by the stone or the ball is more. Again, he decreased the angle of inclination of the second plane. This time, he found that when the ball is allowed to roll down, it covers more distance. When the angle of inclination becomes 0 of the second inclined plane, he found that when the ball is allowed to fall down, the ball keeps on rolling. So he has given a law. According to his law, an unbalanced external force is required to initiate the motion, but no unbalanced force is required to sustain the uniform motion. I'm repeating again, an unbalanced external force is required to initiate the motion, but no unbalanced net force is required to sustain uniform motion. Next, you have to read Newton's first law of motion. Galileo had performed the experiment, but he was not able to explain it. Newton has explained this law very well. According to Newton, a body continued to be in a state of rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless some external unbalanced force is applied on it to change that state. I am repeating again, a body continued to be in the state of rest. What does it mean? If a body is at rest, its tendency is to remain at rest. It will remain at rest. If a body is in uniform motion, its tendency is to remain in the motion along the straight line unless and until some external force is applied to change that state. Newton's first law of motion gives definition of force. Now next word, that is inertia. What is this inertia? Inertia is inability of a body to change by itself its state of rest or its state of uniform motion. You can say state of motion along a straight line. And mass of a body is the measure of inertia. More the mass, more will be the inertia. Inertia is of three types. First one, inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. What is this inertia of rest? Inability of a body to change by itself its state of rest unless and until an external unbalanced force is applied to change its state. What is this inertia of motion? It is the inability of a body to change by itself its state of motion unless and until an external unbalanced force is applied to change its state of motion. And third one, that is inertia of direction, inability of a body to change by itself its direction of motion unless and until an external unbalanced force is applied to change the direction of motion. Now, example of inertia of rest. A boy sitting inside, or you can say standing in a bus, and the bus is at rest. When the bus suddenly starts, the boy fall backward. Second one, dust comes out when the carpet is beaten with a stick. Third one, fruit fell down from the tree when the branch of the tree is shaken vigorously. Now, example of inertia of motion. A boy standing in a moving bus will fall forward when the bus suddenly takes a break. Second one, when a boy jumps out of a moving train, he fall forward. This is due to inertia of motion. Now, example of inertia of direction. A boy fall outward who is sitting inside a moving bus and the bus take a curve suddenly. Second example, mud guards are provided in the vehicle to protect the driver from the mud. So these are the example of inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. You will be asked reasoning question from here. Now let us have what type of question you will be asked. One by one we will do it. A boy standing in a bus will fall backward when the bus suddenly starts. Now answer, this is because of inertia of rest. Initially, the boy and the bus both are at rest and they tend to remain at rest. When the bus suddenly starts, the feet of the boy comes in motion along with the bus. But upper part of his body, which was at rest, tends to remain at rest due to inertia of rest. So he fall backward. Second one, dust comes out when the carpet is beaten with a stick. This is also because of inertia of rest. Initially, the carpet and the dust both are at rest and tends to remain at rest. When the carpet is beaten with a stick, it comes in motion, but the dust tends to remain at rest due to inertia of rest. So it comes out of the carpet. Number 3, fruits fell down when the branch of a tree is shaken vigorously. This is also because of inertia of rest. Initially, the fruit and the tree, branch of the tree, both are at rest and tends to remain at rest. When the branch of a tree is shaken vigorously, it comes in motion, but the fruit tends to remain at rest due to inertia of rest, so it gets detached from the tree. Number 4, a boy in a bus fall forward when the bus takes a break. This is because of inertia of motion. If you write in place of inertia of motion, write inertia of rest, you will get 0 for that. So be very specific whether it is because of inertia of rest, motion, or direction. Now this question is based on inertia of motion. Initially, the boy and the bus both are in motion and tends to remain in motion. When the bus takes a break, what will happen? The feet of the boy comes to rest along with the bus, but the upper part of his body tends to remain in motion due to inertia of motion. So he fall forward. Next one, number 5. A boy in the bus and the bus is in motion will fall outward when the bus takes a curve. This is because of inertia of direction. Initially, the bus and the boy are in motion, moving in a particular direction along a straight line, and the tendency is to remain in the same direction. When the bus takes a curve, the boy falls outward as his body tends to remain in the same direction due to inertia of direction. I think it is clear to all of you. Next topic is momentum. What is this momentum? Quantity of motion possessed by a body. It is equal to product of mass and velocity. It is represented by capital P. Capital P is the product of, it is equal to product of mass and velocity. Momentum is vector quantity. Its SI unit is kg meter per second and CGS unit is gram centimeter per second. Now the factor on which momentum depend upon mass and velocity. More the mass, more will be the momentum. Less the mass, less will be the momentum, means directly proportional. It also depend upon velocity. More the velocity, more will be the momentum. Less the velocity, less will be the momentum. Now, next you have to read Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force applied, and the change takes place in the direction of applied force. I am repeating again, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force applied, and the change will take place in the direction of applied force. Newton's second law of motion gives the measure of force, that is formula for finding the force, F equals to ma. You will get this formula using Newton's second law of motion. Now you will be asked in 3 marks question, derive F equals to ma. Consider a body of mass m. Let this is a body, its mass is m, having initial velocity u. Let F is the force applied on the body for time t. After time t, let the velocity of the body become v. Now, what is the initial momentum of the body? Pi. Pi means I for initial, P for momentum. Pi equals to m into u. What is the final momentum of the body? Pf. F for final and P is momentum. This is equals to product of mass into velocity. Here velocity is v. What is the change in momentum of the body? Final momentum, that is Pf minus initial momentum Pi. Substitute the value mv minus mu. M is common, take it out. In bracket, m, in bracket write down v minus u. Now what is rate of change in momentum? Rate means divided by time. This is equal to mv minus u by t. But v minus u by t is a. So you are getting rate of change in momentum equals to ma. According to Newton's second law of motion, rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to applied force. Here the applied force is F. So ma is directly proportional to applied force, that is F. You can also write F is directly proportional to ma. When you remove this proportionality sign with equal to, you have to multiply with the constant, where here the k is taken as constant of proportionality. So F is equal to kma. If you take m as 1 unit, a as 1 unit square, and then F as 1 unit, then k will also be equal to 1. Suppose mass we have taken 1 kg, acceleration we have taken 1 meter per second square, force we have taken 1 Newton, then k is also equal to 1. Therefore, F equals to ma. So this formula, you have to solve the numerical based on this. Newton's second law gives F equals to ma. Now numericals based on second law of numericals based on second law of motion, that is F equals to ma. We will do it later on. First, reasoning question based on Newton's second law of motion, or you can say based on momentum. Now 3 important questions from here. A cricketer moves his hand backward while catching a ball. This is a common observation you also have experienced. If you want to catch a cricket ball, you will move your hand backward. Now, what is the reason behind it? Second one, a boy gets less hurt when fall on the sandy floor, but he will get more hurt when fall on cemented floor. Same question can be asked in 2 different ways. Why a boy get less hurt when fall on the sandy floor? Or why a boy get more hurt when fall on the cemented floor? And third one, safety belt in a car save us from injury. When we met with an accident, how? So first question is, a cricketer moves his hand backward while catching a ball. By doing so, he is increasing the time during which the velocity becomes zero. A cricketer moves his hand backward while catching a ball. This will increase the time during which the velocity becomes zero. So the rate of change in momentum, time factor increases. So rate of change in momentum will get decreased because denominator is increasing. So rate of change of momentum will get decreased. As the rate of change of momentum will get decreased, the reaction force will also get decreased and he will get less hurt. In 3 lines, you will complete the answer. By doing so, he is increasing the time during which the velocity becomes zero. So rate of change of momentum will get decreased and hence the reaction force will also get decreased. So the cricketer will get less hurt. Second one, a boy get less hurt when fall on the sandy floor. When a boy fall on the sandy floor, what will happen? This answer you have to write your own. What will happen when you fall on the sandy floor? The time of fall during which the velocity becomes zero will increase. And when you fall on the cemented floor, the time of fall during which the velocity becomes zero will get decreased. So in number 2, you will write the time of fall during which the velocity becomes zero get increased. As the time increases, so rate of change of momentum will get decreased. So the reaction force will get decreased and the boy will get less hurt on the sandy floor. Just opposite for number 3. When he fall on the cemented floor, the time during which the velocity becomes zero will get reduced. Since time is decreasing, so rate of change of momentum will get increased, reaction force will get increased, and the boy will get more hurt. For number 4, safety belt will protect us from injury. Safety belt in a car protect us from injury. When the car met with an accident, the safety belt protect us from injury. As the use of safety belt increase the time of what? Time of falling during which the velocity becomes zero. So rate of change of momentum will decrease, reaction force will get decreased, so we get less hurt. Now, one more derivation, you will get it from here. Newton's first law of motion is special case of Newton's second law of motion. So you will start from Newton's second law of motion. According to Newton's second law of motion, F equals to ma. But A is equals to V minus U by T. Now cross multiply. F into T equals to mv minus mu. If force equals to 0, means no external unbalanced force is applied on the system. In that case, F will be 0, so F into T will be 0. Or mv minus mu equals to 0, or mv equals to mu. M will be cancelled on both the sides, so we will get V equals to U. What does it mean? If no external unbalanced force acts on the system, the state of motion of the body remains same. If the body is at rest, it will remain at rest. If it is moving with the velocity of u, the final velocity also remain u only. So we are getting Newton's first law of motion by applying Newton's second law of motion. And we can say that Newton's first law of motion is special case of Newton's second law of motion. Next, you have to read numerical based on F equals to ma, P equals to mv, that is momentum, and F equals to ma. Now, number 1, a motorcycle is moving with a velocity of 90 km per hour and it takes 5 seconds to stop. So initial velocity is 90 kilometer per hour. You convert it into meter per second by multiplying it with 5 by 18. And final velocity is 0. Time is given 5 seconds after the brakes are applied. Calculate the force exerted by the brake on the motorcycle if the mass along with the rider is 200 kg. Total mass is 200 kg. You have to find out acceleration first. So you all know it is 90 kilometer per hour. Convert it into meter per second. 90 into 5 by 18. 18 5 to 90. So you are getting 25 meter per second. Velocity, final velocity is 0. Time is 5 seconds. Force you are asked to find it out. Mass is 200 kg. So substitute the value in the formula F equals to ma, but A equals to V minus U by T. Here F you are asked to find it out. Substitute the value m equals to 200 into V is 0 minus U is 25 by 5. So you are getting 200 into minus 25 by 5. 5 5 to 25. So minus 5 into 200, you are getting minus 100 Newton. Now come to next one. Number 2, a force of 4 Newton acts on a body of mass 2 kg for 4 seconds. Force is given 4 Newton. Mass is 2 kg and time is 4 seconds. Assuming the body to be initially at rest, here u is 0. Find the velocity when the force stop acting. You are asked to find out final velocity. And B, distance covered in 10 seconds after the force start acting. Two part, first one final velocity, you have to find it out, and second distance covered. So force is given 4 Newton, mass is given 2 kg. Using this 2, we can find out acceleration. F equals to ma. So A equals to force by mass. Force is 4 Newton. Mass is 2 kg. You are getting 2 meter per second square. Final velocity, you want to find it out. V equals to U plus AT. Here U is 0. A you got 2 and T is given 4 seconds. So 4 into 2, you are getting V equals to 0 plus 2 into 4 or 8 meter per second. Second part of the question is to find out distance covered. So distance covered, S equals to UT plus half AT square. First, when the force stop acting, distance covered will be equals to S1 equals to UT1 plus half AT1 square. Here, U is 0, T1 for 4 seconds. So T1 is 4 plus half, A is 2 and T1 again 4 into 4. Here square is there. So 2 will get cancelled. You are getting 0 into 4, 0 and 4 into 4, 16. So 0 plus 16, it is 16 meter. Second part is given when the force is 0, distance covered will be S2 will be equals to velocity into time. Velocity is final velocity, that is 8. This you have got. And time you see total 10 second is given, 4 second force is acting on it. Just see, two part is there. Velocity when the force stop acting and second force start acting. Total time is given 10 seconds. So 4 second already we have used it. Now for remaining 6 seconds. See here, final velocity is 8, T2 is 6, 6 8 is 48 meter. So total distance covered is S1 plus S2, 16 plus 48, you are getting 64 meter. Number 3. Number 3, a feather of mass 10 kg is dropped from a height. It is found to fall down with a constant velocity. What is the net force acting on it? Here the feather is falling with constant velocity. It means acceleration will be 0. If the acceleration is 0, it means force will be equal to 0 because F equals to ma. So in number 3, you will get answer 0. Force applied is 0. Since feather is moving with constant velocity, so acceleration will be 0. Therefore, F equals to ma. M is 10, A is 0. You are getting 0. Number 4. Number 4, a body of mass 1 kg is kept at rest. So U will be 0. A constant force of 6 Newton start acting on it. 6 Newton force is applied on it. Find the time taken by the body to move through a distance 12 meter. Distance covered is given 12 meter. You are asked to find out time. Number 4. Mass is given 1 kg. Initial velocity is 0. Force applied is 6 Newton. You are asked to find out time. Distance covered is 12 meter. Now using this two, F and M, find out acceleration. F equals to ma, so A equals to F by M. And F is 6 Newton by mass is 1. So you are getting 6 meter per second square. Distance covered equals to ut plus half at square. Here distance covered is given 12. U is 0. Time you don't know. Plus half. A is 6 into t. T you want to find it out. So 2, 3 to 6. You are getting 12. 0 into t 0 plus 3t square. Or t square equals to 12 by 3. You are getting 4. Or t equals to root under 4, you are getting 2 seconds. Number 5. Number 5 is a question from graph. The VT graph of a ball of mass 20 gram. Mass is given 20 gram and VT graph is given moving along a straight line on a long table given below. How much force does the table exert on the ball? You are asked to find out force to bring it to rest. See here, initial velocity is 5, 10, 15, and this is 20. Initial velocity is 20. Final velocity is 0. Time is given 10 seconds. So you can find out acceleration. Mass is given. You can easily find out force. Number 5. Mass is 20 gram. Force you are asked to find out. Final velocity is 0. Initial is 20 centimeter per second. See the unit, check the unit. It is given in centimeter per second. So no need to change the unit of mass also. And time is given in second. You know F equals to ma. F equals to ma. In place of mass you have written 20 into acceleration is v minus u by t. V is 0, u is 20. So 0 minus 20 divided by 10. You are getting 0 get cancelled. You are getting minus 49. So this is the force exerted by table on the body. Number 6. A truck starts from rest. So U will be 0 and rolls down a hill with a constant acceleration. It travels a distance of 400 meter. S is 400 meter. Time is 20 seconds. In 20 seconds. Find its acceleration. You are asked to find out A. Find the force acting on it if its mass is 7 metric ton. It is given in the question 1 metric ton is equal to 1000 kg. So 7 metric ton will be equals to 7000 kg. See here, U is 0. Distance covered is 400 meter. Time is 20 seconds. You are asked to find out acceleration. You are asked to find out force. Mass is given 7,000 kg. We know S equals to ut plus half at square. S is 400 meter. U is 0. T is 20. So 0 into 20 plus half. A is, you don't know, you want to find it out. Into time is 20. So 20 into 20. You will cut this 20 with this 2. So 400 is equal to 0 plus 20 into 10, that is 200 A. Therefore, A equals to 400 by 200, which is equal to 2 meter per second square. Second, you have to find out force. Force equals to MA. M is 7,000 kg and A is 2 meter per second. Therefore, F equals to 14,000 Newton. If you are having any doubt, please write in the chat. Now write down 2 questions as homework. First one, state Newton's first law of motion. Number 1, state A, Newton's first law of motion. B, Newton's second law of motion. Number 2, give reason. Write down first. Dust comes out of the carpet when it is beaten with a stick. Second, a cricketer moves his hand backward while catching a cricket ball. I am repeating again. Dust comes out of the carpet when it is beaten with a stick. Second, B, 2B. A cricketer moves his hand backward while catching a cricket ball. Thank you. Have a nice day.